I hope all is well. I hope you had a successful day trading today, and just had a good day in general. As always, I'm going to be going over the S&P 500 E-mini futures for today, Tuesday, July 8th. Very interesting, broad trading range day with a lot of traps and a lot of areas where you could have gotten into trouble. You had to trade very, very smart today with pretty wide stop losses to be able to get yourself out of trouble and to make any money. Before I get started, huge shout out to Troy H, my mentor, and a shout out to Al Brooks. His course will be down below if you guys want to learn more about this price action strategy that I'm doing. As always, purple, previous day high, previous day low. And the orange is pre-market high, pre-market low. Didn't really matter today. It was kind of, like I said, just a broad, pretty large trading range day with some big movements within the trading range. I'm just going to go ahead and get into it. So we open up with a very strong bear bar down. Definitely going to get some sort of second leg. Um, Closes completely on its high, over 7 points down. And we get kind of a decent three push up, but you can see there's long wicks on every single one. You have a decent micro gap, but you're trading against that crosses the EMA. And this was the first trade that I took right here in this blue. This is like one of my favorite trades that I like to see. So you get a 4 bar micro channel at its peak, about 14 points, closing over 10 points down. You have 2 micro gaps. 6 is a really good bar, 7's a little doji, and 8 has that long wick, but it still gets that close below the EMA for the day. And I would have probably taken 8 if it would have closed better, but I wanted to wait for a pullback. And you get kind of that pullback failure on 9 that I always talk about, where it really tries to pull back and it fails, still closing below the EMA. So I entered in on this trade here, and as you can see, it goes really well. It goes down for about 5 points. And this is where I kind of made a mental error and a lapse. I've realized that I only need to scale in and only should scale into positions when the strength factors are overwhelming. And with bar 7 and the wick on 8, the probability of this getting a huge symmetrical second leg is definitely lower than if those bars had better strength factors. So yes, 11 has a really good close with strong IBS. A lot suggesting that it's probably going to go lower, maybe try to test the pre-market low. That is at least the thought that I had. So I scaled in on the close of 11, and I wish I wouldn't have, because if I hadn't have done that, I could have seen 12. 12 went against my hypothesis completely, and I would have been able to get out up 3 points at 12's close because my hypothesis had failed. But because I scaled in, I had a little bit more risk, and I think I was already down on 12. So I thought maybe this was a pullback and a third leg incoming, which I should never do. And as you can see, got this very strong reversal up. So when it reversed up, I had my stop loss right here on the wick of 4, and after the close of 13 and then 14, I had a strong belief that this was probably just going to hit my stop loss, so I tried to get out before it. Um, and I kind of was kicking myself all day, the rest of the day, because of course it kind of ends up reversing back down. You kind of end up getting 1 pullback, 2 huge deep pullback, 3 pushes down. And I would have been able to get out, break even, or even up a couple points if I would have just stuck in this trade. So definitely a bummer moment for sure. But I think the best trade was just having 1 contract, selling this pullback failure, and taking 5 points, or even if you wanted to stay in longer, taking 3 points after 12. You get a good reversal up on 12, 13, and 14, but 14 isn't a great indicator bar. And you're kind of already trading against the regime. You could say that this is maybe 1, 2, 3 pushes down, and this is now going to go back up. But it's really respecting this top of the range, which is something that you should look out for, and that's something that I looked out for. And then of course it reverses back down, maybe having 3 legs in here, but definitely it looks like a trading range after bar 17 tries to get down below and then has another rejection. So now you kind of know that we're in a trading range with kind of the top of the channel, bottom of the channel down here. You kind of want to buy low, sell high if that's kind of what your strategy is, but not mine. After this, I was oh, sorry about that. After after this trade, I was basically done for the day. I knew my psychology wasn't there anymore. Definitely after it ended up working out, I could have gone out break even. So I was kind of just shut my computer and worked on some other things for a while. But another really good trade that I thought was kind of after all this movement, you can kind of see we're at the bottom of the range here, and you get a couple good bars up. 24 is pretty climactic for the bears going down. Good strong reversal at the bottom of the range. Two good strong bars with a tick gap. 26 closes near its high above the EMA. You could have looked at 29 as a pullback failure, and I think I would have taken this trade just because of the low risk. You could have had a stop loss right below 26, down only 3 points, and there's a lot of upside for it. So I think after this pullback failure, you could have bought the close of 27 and ripped up for 5 points. And if you expected this to go higher, um, maybe to the absolute top of the trading range, you could have sat through this bit of a pullback, went down a little bit, and then you could have rode this back up to kind of the pre-market high for about 15 points. But I think the smartest play was just taking the 5 at the close of 30, having that second push up semi-symmetrical. I think another good trade in here was, after this, you could say this is one, pullback two, pullback three, or pullback failure on 27. So you have three pushes up, breaking, kind of creating a new top of the range, first time breaking through the top of the range. Um, and it's already three pushes up. And we've been in a trading range all day with lots of big pushes up, followed by big pushes down. So after seeing this double top, 37, getting a really good bar down over 7 points, 5 points at its peak. I think you could have, with very little risk, maybe right at the top of 36, sold 37 if you felt like it was going to get a little bit more of a push down, and you could have made, 5 points trying to get through the EMA. You could have sat through and made 10 on 44, but just definitely an interesting trade. It's like definitely seems like it's at the top of the trading range or even broke through the trading range a bit, and it's probably going to have a correction down, trying to test the bottom of the trading range again, like it does on 46. So a lot of like I said, a lot of buy low, sell high opportunities today. Um, Kind of the rest of the day, I thought was there wasn't really anything that significant. You kind of get the sideways down, breaks through the EMA, some weird just kind of trading range behavior in here, nothing really significant. You finally get a great push up at 53 that you think maybe could get a second symmetrical leg, maybe trying to test around the close of 36 again. But like I said, there's only one good bar in this whole entire trend. 50 through 52 are all doji, not good trend bars. Finally breaks through the EMA pretty strong, but doesn't get a good follow through. Um, you could have hypothetically bought 55 as pullback failure. It would have made sense, but I think he would have quickly wanted to get out after 58, about at break even. Another interesting one is this now breaks through the EMA pretty good, but once again, not very many strength factors, a lot of long wicks. 62 has a really good rip back up, closing above the EMA at 100% IBS, so you wouldn't want to go short on 62. And then you can kind of see the rest of the day so far. It's about four. We got a couple more bars to come. It's just been kind of below this EMA, going sideways. Nothing too significant. So I think if you were on your A game today, you could have at least made 5 to 10 points. If you had pretty wide stop losses, because you could have gotten yourself into trouble multiple times. Say if you bought 15, it could have gone against you, but if you had a very wide stop loss, you would have been able to get out either, break even on 21, or if you wanted to sit even longer, you would have been able to maybe make 10 points. But you kind of had to sit through. I wish I would have sat through, like I said, not gotten out when I had my stop loss right here. I wish I would have just let it run. Could have, you know, been break even and looked to trade more today. But just part of the learning game, part of the process. Definitely not a super easy day to trade today because there's a lot of significant pushes that you think will need a second leg, and they eventually get a second leg, but a lot of very deep pullbacks in this kind of trading range behavior type of day. Um, but yeah, that's all I got for you guys. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. Um, Please let me know in the comments down below how you guys did today. Um, and I'll be back again with another video tomorrow. And good luck.